Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamson Entertainment. And welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help. You can like and subscribe so you never miss a conversation. But most importantly, please share this video. Get the word out there's a community we can talk about all the things that we love. I recently just saw Cabrini, and Angel Studios continues to massively impress me. Honestly, so far this is my favorite movie by theirs. This is starring, and I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names, Christiana Dallana, John Lithgow. There's some big names in here I wasn't expecting. I recognize him right off the bat. It took me to almost the end of the movie to recognize David Morse, Giancarlo Giannini, Federico Castelluccio, Jeremy Bobb, Romana Maggiora Vergano, Patch Durag, Montserrat Espidale, Federico A. Lapi, Liam Campora, Eugenia Forteza, Sara Santizo, Andrew Polk, and Christopher Macchio. This movie, from the very beginning, is grabbing and pulling at your heartstrings, and it does not stop. I was welling up with tears from the beginning to the end. Good tears. Every single one of them was earned. It opens up in old New York, turn of the last century. First starts with text saying basically between 1889 and 1910, about 2 million immigrants were coming from Europe, and a large number of them were Italian. And at the time, they were looked down upon. They were second-class citizens, and they were basically hated by the Americans at the time, unfortunately. And they do not shy away from showing that. They'll show how they were treated back then, the slums that they lived in, the slurs that they were called, unfortunately. And so we open up with a child pushing his mother in a cart who is dying, and he's trying to find help. He goes to the hospital. Unfortunately, I'm going to be saying this a lot. Unfortunately, at the time, there was a hospital for Americans only, and then there was a hospital for immigrants only. Part of the opening text states that largely the immigrants that came over don't speak any English. So this poor child is pushing his mother. He's talking to people, but it's Italian, so no one understands him, or at least in the area that he's in. And he gets rejected. It's just so heartbreaking. At one point in the sequence, the boy's mother gets taken away to, I guess, some kind of an infirmary, and the boy doesn't understand because he doesn't speak English, and so he can't follow. I don't know why they just don't take him with them. Tragedy is, this boy ends up being character you learn later on, Paulo. At least I'm pretty sure it's the same character. But we'll get back to him. So it goes from that heartbreaking scene to Italy, where Mother Cabrini. Now, I thought that this movie was going to be her starting the order, and then, like, by the end of the movie, she would be Mother Cabrini, and she's just Sister Cabrini in the beginning. She's Mother Cabrini already. I guess she founded the order. They don't really go into that part. And you would think, with my Catholic upbringing and education, I would probably know this, but unfortunately I don't. She's running a nunnery, not much going on there, but she keeps on asking, with this one particular bishop, permission to start a mission of her own. And at this point in the church, no woman has been a leader of a mission. At first, she has her eyes set on China, because as she states herself later on to the Pope, the church has not moved eastward. They've done plenty good in the West, but the East at the time has been forgotten. And so she wants to do that. I know I just mentioned that she's talking to the Pope, but first she's talking to the bishop, and this is taking place in Rome. She goes from a little town in Italy to Rome because she's called, because she continually writes letters asking to start a mission. And this time they figured if we tell her in person, she'll finally stop. Not Cabrini. Nope. This woman is persistent, and it's amazing. So she won't accept the bishop's no. She wants to hear it from the Pope himself, and she gets to talk to the Pope. At first, the Pope agrees with the bishop. Like, no, this is something we just don't do. And one among many occurring themes in this movie is she's constantly told, stay where you belong. And that is a constant motivator for her to be like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to achieve the goals I'm telling you I know I can achieve. And then some. She says in the movie, the world is too small for what I want to do. That's an amazing way to look at your goals. She ultimately convinces the Pope, but he has one condition. Instead of going to China, their own people in America, specifically New York City, are having a really rough time. And there's already a priest there, Father Morelli, who, I don't know if he started a mission there or not, but he's not doing so great. And so Pope will let her start her own mission, but it has to be where he sends her, not where where she wants to go, and she accepts that. And there's plenty of work to be done in New York, specifically the area called 5 Points. So the rest of the movie is her fighting tooth and nail for immigrants, period. Not just Italians, but all immigrants. She wants to have a better facility for the orphanage that she takes in, because that's ultimately what she starts, as an orphanage. She also wants to start a hospital, which I'm relatively certain is still working today. The name Mother Cabrini is well known, especially on the East Coast. There's a Cabrini University, I'm pretty sure. She is the first American saint. Some of these are pretty esoteric terms. I'm not going to go into them, but it's definitely worth a look if you want to learn more about history. Just the trials and tribulations she has to go through, and her, as I mentioned, persistence, resilience, and just stubbornness to not give up is awe-inspiring. Just one scene after another, it's just yanking at your heartstrings. It's feel a little misty-eyed just talking about it. Now, what I was about to go into was, this movie is gorgeous. A movie can be gorgeous without the huge sweeping scenery shots. Just the cinematography, how shots are composed, absolutely amazing. Another reoccurring theme is reflections. You constantly see perfect reflections, and it just looks gorgeous. I'm interpreting these reflections as she is aligned, that she is doing what she is supposed to do and nothing can stop her. There's only one reflection where that kind of interpretation doesn't work, and it's when she's looking for the first few children that she wants to fill the orphanage with. She's underground, and she also has this like lung condition. They don't well, I think they do mention what it is, but I can't remember what it is. And she's told again and again, like, you only have a few years to live. And she's I can't really tell. Maybe she's in her 30s or 40s. I don't know. But she makes it to 67, so she defies all the odds. All the odds. Like, obstacles are nothing to her, and it's awesome. But there's this one scene, because of her lung condition, she passes out underground. And I love the simplicity of just straight shots. Just sitting the camera down and showing what's in front of you and having some kind of a frame. A frame could be any number of things. It could be a literal door frame, it could be darkness, which in this case it is. The sky's the limit. And just simple cinematography is some of the best cinematography. You don't have to get crazy out there to tell a story. And this movie just does a masterful job of telling a story. It also helps to have an amazing cast to tell that story, because everyone is 100% believable in this. I absolutely love this movie. If you can catch it in theaters, I really highly recommend that you do. I've looked up Angel Studios for 4K movies, because I still would like to get a copy of The Shift. Angel Studios needs to step up their game and have 4K available, because this movie 100% worth it for 4K. Those are my thoughts on Cabrini. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.